My name is Tommie Sunshine. I'm from New York City, Brooklyn Fire. We are here in Montreal, Canada for Ilesoniq. Yeah, I mean, I would say for sure. I mean, you know, when we first started working together, I was in a huge transition. I had just stopped working with my engineer of 12 years, which is a long time to make records with somebody. You know what I mean? Like, so it was a bit scary. It was like walking on a tightrope again, because I was having to, like, you know, I didn't have the, you know, the sound to fall back on, like, right, you know, and so, I mean, I'm just very lucky that, you know, I walked into Nick's house and, you know, we wrote and recorded Don't Look Back the day we met. So, I mean, you know, to have that kind of familiarity and to have that kind of a bond with other producers is it's heavy. You know what I mean? Like, when you create something that's that special, like, you know, that lasts forever. Oh, there's these trolley kids online that really they turned on me. They were like, you know, always like kind of chatting with me on Twitter and kind of backing me up with a lot of the things that I said about the culture and stuff. And then one day they just decided not to like me anymore. And, you know, they tried to start talking about how I use ghost producers and all this other stuff. And it's like, you know, listen, like, I'm very upfront, and in every interview that I ever do, I always talk about, like, you know, I don't know how to run Pro Tools. I don't know, you know, I don't work in Ableton. Like, none of that stuff. I don't do that. I never learned any of that stuff. But a classic definition of a producer does not include, like, an engineer was a different person. That was a different role. Like, the producer is the person that can get all the right people in a room and can orchestrate all of those people to create something special. And when that happened, Nick and Danny both chimed in, as well as Chocolate Puma, and said that, you know, 'cause I have a record coming out on Size, Steve Angelo's label, with Chocolate Puma in October. So they both chimed in, and you know, Nick and Danny said unequivocally, like, the sounds that we create with Tommie in the room are sounds that we would never ever come to on our own. Said the same thing. They were like, there's no software in the world that could give you what Tommie gives you in the studio. And, you know, those are huge compliments coming from people whom I really admire. I really enjoy, you know, working with, you know, Live City and working with Halfway House and working with, you know, all these kind of younger guys that are, you know, that came, you know, through the label, through Brooklyn Fire, and then, you know, it's turned into so much more. I mean, I just went back out to Vegas to work with the Halfway House guys, and we did 5 songs in 4 days. It's a lot. I mean, that's a huge amount to accomplish in a very short amount of time. Yeah, they're just out of college. They're great. I mean, like, well, you know, I mean, they really want it. You know, I mean, and they just put out a record with Jacob Van Haeg on Revealed. I mean, they're set up. You know, like, it's everything from here is just up for them, and we just really create amazing stuff together. And I'm very lucky, you know, like, and I don't take any of this stuff for granted. You know, like, I think that, you know, just first of all, to be my age and for there to be a place for me in this music is exceptional. There's not a lot of guys who are still on the up in this business who are 43 years old. Like, you know, people who are on the up in this business are typically like 19. So, to have that kind of trajectory is amazing to me. And the thing that I think is really great is that, I see these guys and I've seen the exceptional success that so many people have had. But the one thing that I don't mind is I don't mind not seeing the peak of my career yet, because when I go into a gig, I still get to decide when the peak of the set is and what record that peak is going to be. When you have a big record, that's the peak. And it's that record for the rest of your career. Like, you are going to have to play Satisfaction for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like, God bless Benny, but he's going to have to end every show with Satisfaction for eternity. I mean, I understand it, and with the amount of records that I have, that are incubating at the moment with so many different people, it's only a matter of time before, like, one of those records becomes a big record, and then I'm gonna have to, that is going to be the peak record, and it is gonna, I am gonna have to play that for the rest of my career. Well, I mean, you repurpose the record. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best way to do it. I mean, like, if you play techno sets and you play break sets and you play deep house and then you also play EDM, like, you just make 4 different versions of the track so that you can always play it. Yeah, I don't understand that, and I don't agree with, these people pay $100 to go see Eric Prydz, and he doesn't play any of his big records. I mean, and that's, I don't know. I don't understand that. You know what I mean? Like, you have to deliver when you're at that level. I mean, Steve Angelo probably, the number one thing on his mind is not playing Swedish House Mafia records, but he still has to do it. You know what I mean? Like, and, he should be proud of those records. They did very well. You know what I mean? Like, and they were the first big machine of this music. Like, everybody that's trying to be a brand in EDM right now is basing everything on Swedish House Mafia. They're just trying to be Swedish House Mafia. Today? Well, I mean, I played a lot of music from Wookie, my buddy, and he's in Denver. Owsla guy, like, he's got a new EP coming out on Nest, and he's amazing. We actually just finished an Elvis Presley remix together for Sony. That's going to come out before the end of the year, and yeah, he's amazing. Like, I couldn't possibly say enough about how much of a genius he is. I feel like he is making the most future forward and revolutionary music today. My name is Tommie Sunshine, and I read Bunk in the Trunk.